Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
What an extraordinary time between drinks it has been. And yet, we're back again to do weird things to your ear holes.
I'm sorry, but who are you again?
I'm Caleb. Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Josh. How you going? You have a girly grip.
Thanks,
I'll
mate.
give you a virtual handshake, but I'm couchy.
Oh, nice to meet you, as the losers of the world say in the virtual world these days.
Yes, would have been COVID era.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Oh, talking about COVID, I seen a tattoo the other day, right? And it was like one of those like Indian-looking like totem pole chick faces, but it had a COVID mask over it.
Over the actual statue.
Like over her
Totem.
mouth and nose.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's funny or not.
No, it
That's
was
not
super
funny.
weird.
That's fucked up.
Well, it wasn't as bad as watching a chick take a dump on the side of the road
Sorry.
in the middle of
Yes.
the suburbs.
Yeah, can you give us some context to that? Because you sent the message. I'm like, well, that would be funny to see, but what actually happened?
Right. I was driving home from work, okay, and there's a big shopping centre at Tea Tree Gully, as we all know, and there's a road that sort of goes behind Tea Tree Gully and there's a hospital on one side. I was driving down there. So it's a real straight road, so you can sort of see a fair way off. Anyway, I seen this Toyota Camry pulled over the side of the road and there was this heavy-set lady with the passenger door open on the curb. And this is like a high-traffic area, man. Anyway, she bent down. And I'm like, oh, she's just picking up something from the passenger seat or whatever. And next thing you know, I've seen the old muscle movement of pulling your strides down, and simultaneously it was like this shot, this stream of watery brown, like just dirt, come out of her backside. And it caught the glint of the sun, and it had to make me think twice. Like, I'm like, oh, what's happening here? So I've kept looking, and it's taken me a moment to realise that chick's just taking a deuce.
Oh, mate.
That chick is lactose intolerant. Sounds good.
Look, when you got to go, you got to go. I have never been there. I've never been to the point where you've got to pull over and run into the scrub and take a dump. But I've certainly been, like say a few minutes from home and you're stuck in a corner or something like that. And you're like, I'm puckering.
I've been in that position before, but that was coming from Coopedi. traveling south from there. So you haven't got a town for like 4 hours, and you just have to.
See, I feel like there's etiquette like with that it's okay if you're out in the middle of nowhere, but like, come on, like you're in suburbia, you're like,
Suburbia's different.
just hold it, maybe
On a footpath.
Well, there's a servo, Macca's.
Was it
whatever.
literally just sprayed the footpath? Or?
man, like little grass plinth footpath, and it was like streams.
Nature Street.
Yeah. I got home and I wanted to wash my hands. I felt dirty.
Was this a pedestrian, or had she got out of a car and just?
No, I got out of a car.
I feel like I'd just like do it at least next to your car or something.
So the hard, well, I guess the bad thing is, like a K up the road starts getting into the hills and getting scrubby. So she could have just pulled over and
No, but you know when you're like, all right, let's just say your stomach's churning, and you need to go, and it's to that point where you're like, it's either in the car on the seat or you're out on the wherever.
Yeah.
I don't think it mattered where she was at that point. It sounds like, when you first said it, I figured it was just someone just took a shit on the
like
street.
a homeless person or something. Like,
yeah.
I've seen videos of that.
But if it's like a diarrhea situation, then I think the situation is a little different.
It looks squirrely, that's for sure.
Yeah. So there's one of those. There's a moment where you can't hold them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to back up this random chick that I don't even know.
Look, I guess, but I mean, that's public indecency.
It is. So surely you wouldn't like move away from the car and just do it on a footpath. Surely if you're that stuck, like no time to get anywhere, you'd stop, you'd get out of the car, maybe lean against the car and do it into the gutter.
Yeah, but she's driving, so she's had to get out and go around the car.
I feel
maybe it was a statement. Maybe they knew you, Josh. Maybe it was
just a shit neighborhood.
No, the only people that I know that would do that, all three of us know. Sorry, insider trading.
When you got to go, you got to go.
Nah, I'm against that. Just get home, you grotty. Yeah. Out bush, out scrub, I get it. Actually, on the highway coming into Adelaide, the Princess Highway or whatever it is.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Just a disclaimer that I've got a thunderstorm going on, so if I cut out,
Can you
just maintain, I'll join in when I can.
Man?
Hey?
Can he
Try.
be better?
We were supposed to do this Monday,
Queensland,
mind you, and it would have been fine, Josh, but
It could be Monday to the listeners.
it could be. Well, it might be, to be honest.
But on the Princess Highway, you'll see like a lot of people pull over it and you'll see them holding their kids just like on the side of the road. And it took me a while to realise what was going on. I thought maybe they're just playing with their kids or, stretching their legs or something. No, the kids are all dropping a piss.
I see a lot of it, because I do a lot of Ks for work now, and traveling those highways, you see people pulled over. Not everyone's got the same etiquette I think we've got of at least going against a tree or walking away from the road. There's quite often I'll be driving along and I'm like, okay, there's a dude just hanging it out in the breeze. He hasn't accounted for traffic coming this way, obviously. It's, bizarre, man.
Mate, you've got to account for breeze. You've got to take windage into account because I learnt this at a very young age when we used to piss off the end of a jetty when we were fishing at like 1 o'clock at night.
Oh, you get the swirly wind though.
Yeah, and you get the wind and it goes.
It's going up.
Yeah, straight back in you, and you're like, "Yep,
Straight back in,
I should have rethought my life choices."
True. Have you been caught out bush needing a shit though? Like,
all right, so actually, yes,
I'm assuming you have.
Last year we were all at Newry, so we were all out deer hunting, and it was like the afternoon. Probably lunchtime, we all went for a bit of a drive to show a new shooter around the property and this and that. And I saw it was a young buck, a young fallow, but it was up near this water tank. And I saw another one in the scrub, and I thought, you know what? There's two around. I'm going to go check out that spot, for this evening's hunt. Anyway, I put on my pack. Everyone else has driven to their spots, and I decided to walk from camp. And I'm like, yeah, cool, put my pack on, everything. Beelined it for the water tank pretty much just to cut some distance. And get about 2 fences in, 2 paddocks in. And I'm like, nope, this is, I've got to go. I've really got to go. So found a wombat hole, pulled my pack off, pulled everything out in search for bog roll. And could I find any? None.
Yeah,
None whatsoever. I'm like, how do I not have bog roll? Beelined it back to camp, took a deuce, and by that stage, the sun's fading. I'm like, it's going to take me an hour to get anywhere close to where I want to go. So I just cut it. Like, no, I'm done.
I'm surprised you actually went back. If you had to go then, I'm not sure if you...
Dude, no, it was...
Plenty of gun leaves.
Like, you ever done the whole hold your ass for no reason? Like, but you think it's going to help when you run into the loo? That's what it was like. Back to camp, man.
Trying to fucking jam it back in.
It's like I'm using my thumb as a plug or something.
Must be something about that property, because the only times I've ever been caught without toilet paper and I just could not hold it till I got back to camp or didn't have toilet paper was that property. And both times I've had to sacrifice a pair of jogs. And I wouldn't have been even a K, like maybe 500 metres from camp. And I'm like, I'm going to try and hold it. I'm like, I'm definitely not going to hold this. So both times I've just had to find some shrubbery and just...
You know what it probably is? None of us wash our utensils or cooking pans. So we're poisoning ourselves every time.
They get washed, kind of.
No, they don't.
Yeah. They get washed for the next meal.
It's either that or our elder hunting buddy who's usually at that property just slips something into the cheese and crackers
Mickey.
or something.
Don't be scared, my child.
Yeah, but
Do you guys ever, like, I've done it before, because I don't think I've sacrificed undies before, but I've sacrificed a pair of socks. Because you sit there and weigh it up and you're like, well, which one's better? Is it, like, am I willing to give up my socks or my undies? And at that time, my socks were the ones to, sacrificial.
Look, I can see you thinking, I can, but I don't think I agree with putting my toe jam in my anus. It's bad enough just being an anus.
I've at least had a knife. So
that's a good point.
Wearing trunks, if you just slice off like the leg part of the trunk, you can sort of like that hand drying thing where you just keep pulling it through and drying your hands.
So that's why you have jeggings. Or whatever they are.
Trunks.
Jean shorts. Because you keep wiping your ass with the damn jeans.
Just a ring of jeans every time.
Growing up.
They usually wear long johns, but now they're just like Speedos.
Well, look, we've all been there, and it's a tough one to navigate, I reckon. And I don't think it's ever going to be the last time, man. Actually, it's going to bring me to...
When you need to go, you need to go.
You do, but this brings me to a good point. The best thing I have ever bought was from BCF, and it is like a little fold-out frame with a toilet seat on it. And you know what? There's no more hunting arounds at deer camp for like finding that perfect tree to just nestle into, or a tree with a grab handle, or trying to do some yoga downward dog upside down sunrise or some position to take a jump.
I'm glad we've gone highbrow for our first episode back in months.
We are getting old, man, so
no, it is,
having a good crap is like the highlight of our life.
It is nice to be supported when you crap.
You've changed though, Josh. Like, how long ago was it when you bought him the sleeping mat? Because he was using his whip mat that was like 5 mil thick, and he swore by that thing. And you would not sleep on anything else because you're not a wimp. But now you got like some framed toilet.
Look, man, and you know what? I use that blow up mattress. I went for a solo mission a few months ago, just across the Vic border actually, and I've set up this sick ass little hoochie because I get to this place and it was like pretty much not on dark, but getting there, and then it started raining. So I'm like, I'm just going to set up, get all this firewood, and just chill tonight, have a few beers, have a bit of dinner, and I use that blow up mattress again. I was reminded I had like one of the best night's sleep I've ever had for a long time. I'm like, yeah, look, I'm sold. But having said this, I will stipulate this. the technology in blow-up mattresses has come a long way since Couchy, you and I were first introduced to them, like, what,
Yeah.
2 decades ago.
It was
That's
a while ago.
terrible. We sound really old when you say that.
Mine wasn't
Well,
quite 2 decades. Mine was about, 15 years. But
Yeah, look, and back then
a
you
few
get
more years than me. Yeah.
you get like one puncture and that's it. You're done. You're like, it's just a bit of cloth and you're like, yeah, this ain't doing nothing. So this is why, well, the wimp mat in my mind was such a good thing because,
It's indestructible.
yeah,
It's true.
but now, no.
I do rate the old sleeping mat. I did recently buy a blow-up pillow because I had like a real cheap Kmart one and I'd always just leave it in the same bag as a sleeping mat in case I forgot a pillow if we had like a base camp sort of thing. But I've actually gone a Cedar Summit blow-up pillow. Pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it have that like a join, that seam, though, that like feels like it's not quite a blade, but it's sharp enough that if you turned your head or neck quickly, it's gonna like cut your throat?
Not at all. It's actually got it's got foam in it and material.
Ooh,
It's actually quite nice. But
okay.
it packs up to like fist size. It's pretty good.
ooh,
And
your
Because I was
fist.
my
because
biggest
I've
gripe with
because I've
all
got a
the
Cedar
airline.
Summit sleeping mat, it's got that locator thing. I don't know if you saw when I got you that sleeping mat. It's got 4 little Velcro tab things you locate.
Yeah.
That's designed to attach your pillow so your pillow doesn't move. And it actually works.
Ah, nice.
So it's a decent little
I'm going
pillow.
to sell a product.
Yeah, look, I'm probably going to have to invest in that because my neck and shoulders, like having broad shoulders is
It's not ideal. If you're a side sleeper with broad shoulders, it's not
Yeah.
great.
without a pillow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to. I find that these days, if I forget a pillow, I'm scrambling to bunch up my jacket for a pillow. And look, that's fine when you're 18, but wow.
Oh, look.
That's all I've ever done, to be honest, is just have a scrunched up something, whether it's a dry bag with some clothes in it.
Generally, that's the go. A dry bag.
Yeah.
But because the biggest problem with you, Shannon, is you don't remember the pillow.
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't got a like a camping pillow. I've always just taken on the actual full size pillow, or I've just improvised, which is 90% of the time.
Yeah. And
The pillow is generally the one I mean to leave behind.
Yeah.
It's a toothbrush I don't.
Oh dear.
Nah, this little Cedar Summit job's a good one. It's worth it.
I'm pretty keen. If I had the money, I'd check out Stone Glacier's sleep system. And I'd probably, if money was no object, I'd probably check out trying a doona, not a sleeping bag. I had this conversation with Dad actually yesterday.
Like the Alton quilt thing.
Yes, a quilt. Yeah.
So it's like for anyone who doesn't know, it's a sleeping bag for like 3/4 of it, and the top half is just open.
Yeah,
like a quilt.
Yeah, I'd try it because that's what the sleeping bag. What happens to the sleeping bag anyway? Because you're either too hot or there's not enough room because you're in like a mummy bag, so you zip it and use it as a bloody quilt anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
So
the biggest downfall I've read up about them though is when you are freezing and you do need to wrap up, and then when you roll over, it opens up and releases all the heat out on you.
Yeah,
so I guess depending on what type of sleeper you are, you don't want to be rolling around too much, and it just lets all your heat out.
Yeah,
and then you're screwed.
That's probably the best thing about a bag is that if it is cold, you would have both done this. Like you zip it up over your head and you breathe a few for about 2 minutes. Heats up the bag, especially with a synthetic not down. Like heats up the bag, something chronic, and then you get a little bit of a breathing hole in your head out, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm toasty.
Yeah,
and like in the snow, that's perfect. You're like, yeah.
I don't even in the snow. I don't reckon because I just get so hot. Like last time you and I did the snow, yeah, I still had to have like some air coming in because I was boiling.
Yeah, but you lay it up before bed. We both lay it up because I remember standing there. It was the first night, and we're like, oh, have we really been to the snow before? Yeah, not this sort of snow, not like a foot deep plus. So we're like, all right, let's layer up. We even built that damn fire, a smokeless fire pit, and we lay it up and then got into bed.
And don't forget water bottles in the bottom.
Yeah, true. Hot water bottles.
Yeah.
Which, having talked to a few people that have done snow and a guy who lives in the US and spends a lot of time in the snow, that's the trick that they all say is the old hot water bottle in the bottom of the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Away you go.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
you can
do
use
it.
you can use your Nalgene bottle if you didn't want to take a dedicated, or you're saving weight or whatever. You didn't want to take a dedicated hot water bottle, but always look at like pouring.
That way the water's good to go the next day as well.
I guess if you're purifying it, I mean, that's something that we've all had to get used to in like the high country is the fact that the water is potable there, where in South Australia you're drinking from a sheep trough with 10 dead animals in it. Right.
Yeah, well, they're not going to say like 99% of the water is contaminated. So just boil water regardless.
Or just don't be a pussy.
Until you end up on the side of the street, shitting out the oven needle.
Where were we that one of us drank straight from a stream in the high country? Was that you, Kat?
Yeah, wasn't it? No, it was Josh when we were at, the place where we shouldn't leave deer to find more deer. That place.
Yes.
Yeah, it was up near the waterfall.
Yes.
So that was when Josh was like, "Oh no, I'm right."
I'll drink from
That's
the stream.
high enough, and I'm pretty sure there was a spring just at the top of that.
It ran
It's a
through the
50-50.
swamp, man. It ran through that swampy,
Yeah, but
marshy area.
that's all right.
upstream from that.
That's okay because where we were, it was sort of like funneling and running, and then it jumped off the cliff. So I'm
It's
like,
about where the water's coming from, not where the water is when you see
Look.
it.
nah, I'm like, it'd be fine.
Like you were fine, but you only took a couple of sips because you want to push it.
I did, yeah. But I would fill up in that for sure. And worst case scenario, steri pen in the top.
Yeah, just a life straw
bottle.
or something
Yeah.
at least. Yeah.
I
Reckon
actually after this, because you harped on at me some chronic about that, like, and then you got it in my head.
Exactly.
Like I'm like, okay, all right, I probably need some water filtration. So I went and bought. It's like 2 bags. One you fill up dirty, and then you connect your filter, like an inline filter,
Oh,
and then you connect it to the other bag, and you let it filter through. You can use it as a straw as well, but obviously this is for large quantities of water. And I've still got it in my pack and never used it. It costs like $200. Thanks, mate.
Jesus.
Wow.
I just got like a life straw water bottle. So the water bottle container itself is like dirty, but then the straw hooks up to the straw of the actual lid.
Oh, so you're drinking through the filter.
That filter straw, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you draw on it through the filter.
What are they worth?
Like $40, $50,
That's not too bad.
maybe around there.
See, I'd rather use a steri pen and then filter it through your sock. Wow, sock.
Fuck. Through your thought.
Not easy.
It ain't mine. But like, I guess the water bottle's good because on the go, if you're on the move, you can just fill up. You
Fill
don't
up a
have
few
to
straight away, yeah.
worry about your jewel bags hanging out of a tree and shit.
Yeah. I did look at the pen, and I'm like, oh, look, if you're gonna be quite methodical in your planning, typically on a hunt, especially with water, and we know this fairly well living in South Australia because obviously water's not abundant here, especially clean water. So even when we've been hunting in South Australia together, we always plan exorbitant amount of
shitloads
water.
True.
We do, and we always have way more left over. So I think because we've come from here, going into places where clean water or relatively clean water is in abundance, you sort of, you've got that planning forethought. So you're like, all right, I'm going to have 2 coffees a day. I want to drink, average I drink personally like a litre of water just during the day. All right, so 2 litres, 3 litres will get me out of the woods. I'll just go fill up a full 3 litre when I want. That's where the decision came down over a straw or something like that came for me anyway.
I think there's just been, from what I can remember, there's only been the one hunt since I've known you guys that we've stopped due to the water. And I think that was at the Burnt Stump in Vic.
Stop drinking.
And we we could have been there for longer, maybe another day, but we literally had our last bit of water.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
We can either take off, get more water, come back, or we just call it. So I think that was my first trip to that Black Stump, Burnt Stumps.
Oh,
I think I remember this.
Yeah.
We did that big loop.
That's when we bounced around a few different places.
Yeah.
I think Ryan was with us that trip as well.
To be fair, we should have filled
Stomping
up.
ahead.
We should have filled up into town.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the way in.
100%.
Just
because that's where we went across to Geelong, the Great Ocean Road there, and we started there.
Yeah.
We decided to move west.
Altways.
Yeah, we
all
did
the way down.
We did Altways and then came back.
Yeah. We probably. I think we did plan on pulling over to get water, and I think you Googled Caleb like a free water source at one stage, and the town that we went into it didn't exist.
Well, weirdly enough, we did get showers in a caravan park, so I feel like that was when we should have filled
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That was a good trip.
That's right, because we backpacked it for like 3 days. The first location we backpacked it in, we took that massive ass loop.
No, that's a different trip.
Oh, is it? No, that was the same trip. How
long were you away for then? Like a fucking 2 weeks?
We were away for a while.
It was a while. It was us plus Ryan.
Yeah. It was one of our bigger trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind that area where we took that massive loop, and that's where we saw one of the rangers, hey? Because we kind of hopped the fence to get through because one side of the fence was dense bush and that was hunting area.
Yeah.
But you hop the fence 2 minutes to your right and you can just walk along, get some distance and jump back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
He was all right, that ranger.
Yeah, that's it. Because, we took that big loop in packing. You were still running your old pack.
Yes,
actually.
It was killing me.
Yeah. That's when you died almost.
Oh, my God.
And then
cars were given out.
Like the second or third day, we ended up doubling back on ourselves and going through that thick stuff into the ravine. You got hit with leeches or something.
Yeah, leeches twice.
We're in your car. Yes, I remember this. Yeah.
And then we had like a huge half-a-day break in the middle of that thick stuff.
This is the trip with the cat stump.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Where Ryan thought a cat.
Ah, that's a good memory.
Thought he was shooting a cat, but it was a black stump.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ron. Yeah. But you hit the stump. It was a good shot.
Was it? Was it?
It wasn't good eyes.
I feel like there was some gun safety issues. Got seriously broken. Naturally,
no, I mean,
with Ron.
His aim was true. It just his identification wasn't.
Poor bloke. No, that was a good trip.
Oh dear, we definitely need to do another solid trip. Actually, I want to hit that Viking Ranges up.
It's been too long. I reckon we just both go up to him in Queensland once he sorts himself out with some deer properties.
Yeah,
up
but
there.
can you get us on like a solid backpack trip?
No
cars.
The property I got to shoot here, that's a 9,000 acres.
That's tiny.
That we can backpack that, man.
That's tiny
when you're on your foot.
That southeast place that we go to is 8. That's tiny. 8 along those back run of 7 paddocks.
Well, it's big enough, man. It's not. I don't think that'll be 8.
Is that the one with deer and dogs or just deer?
He's got some dogs and maybe some pigs as well. Yeah, definitely got dogs. Got some reds. There's pigs at the very back because there's an almond trees.
Cool.
So I think the pigs feed off them.
Cool.
I'm pretty keen to go back to a certain red-headed individual's red-bearded man's place.
Oh yeah, got meet in between again. Meet in the middle.
I reckon we should do that trip again.
That is a good trip. And now we know the area a little bit. So next trip's gonna be better.
Wink, wink,
Cody,
nudge, nudge.
if you're listening. Yeah, we won't say no to another one. Maybe April.
Hey, look, I'd hang the gun up just to like help. I don't know, either of you two out. Just be a pack mule. Do whatever.
I feel like I'm the one who needs to be hanging the gun up.
Yeah,
Helping you two.
You definitely.
What do you two do?
Yeah,
I'm probably not
Maybe
going to
you
shoot
both
anything
do it.
if we go back again. And the rule is only shoot something bigger than what you got before.
Hang on.
I'm only taking pigs.
I believe I believe he was digging us for the pigs. So you know what? You ain't gonna have a pig problem no more, champ.
I was going to comment on that actually. 6 South Australians and the first one to shoot a pig. I'm like, I could have shot a pig, but I chose not to because I wanted to get a deer.
We could have shot multiple pigs.
But we should have because we didn't shoot any deer on that property. So
Yeah, that's true.
anyway, this is all very cryptic, but Cody knows what we're talking about.
And that box I could have smacked in as well.
True.
Yeah.
You
Bloody
got
way
a
out
thing.
the
You
deer.
got a thing for 4-legged dogs.
What do you mean?
You're harping on the hunting dogs. You know, your personal dogs killed our packers.
Actually, yeah.
Is it a bit of trauma? And you're like, so, I'm going to get my money's worth out of shooting these dogs.
I don't get where you're going with this. Continue.
No, you've got a thing. Every time I call you on the phone, you just talk about dogs.
I feel like he's just saying
I've only talked about it like twice because you don't call me much.
Oh, says you, bro. If I wasn't the one that dialed the digits,
You can dial my digits.
Mr. Queensland.
But yeah, so there's a dog hanging around here, home actually.
Shoot
I
it.
saw on a little game camera. So, I got to put some time in for him. So
Oh, I got
it's
me.
just a matter of getting him when he comes back because they don't hang around the property 100% of the time. They just do a rotation every 4 weeks.
Oh, that trap. You can set that up. Try and trap him.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of trapping last night actually. Meat Eater Ranella just a cool rough cuts episode he does on
Yes,
on
I
YouTube.
watched that. That's good.
And I watched like the beaver trapping and the whatever. The girls watched it with me. I don't know what there was sort of mixed emotions there, but they were like they didn't really I don't know, they don't love
About
beavers.
trapping beavers.
They're like, Dad, just don't shoot a beaver. I'm like, well, there's no beavers
It'd
here, so you're
be a little
pretty
concerning
safe.
if they love beavers.
Don't we like trapping beavers?
Hey? Fucking
You love trapping beavers.
settle down.
Welcome back.
What was he get? It was actually quite interesting how the beavers set up in winter when the streams are frozen over.
Yes. That's cool.
And they've got like their like underground nesty
Caves.
burrow sort of thing. And then they just literally go out of there and then go under the ice. And they've already stashed a heap of food and it's like halfway underwater and then halfway up through the ice. It's like their feed pile. And you can spot where they are because there's like bubbles under the ice.
Huh.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so their most traveled areas are just bubbles everywhere, and it leads you into the entrance of the den.
Yeah.
So from outside, you can see where the front of the den is. It's underground.
Huh.
And then like in those extreme winter months, they're literally just subterranean or like under the
They
ice.
spend months like without breaking the surface,
Oh, okay.
just because of the inside that den area is dry.
So how do you trap them if they're just living under the ice?
Cut a
Apart
hole,
from-
cut a hole in the ice where
Apart
the
from-
entry
yeah.
to their den is, and then you just stick the trap down so they just go through it or try and swim through it basically, and then you pull them out.
feel
and
like
they're
that-
frozen. The weird thing is that every animal he trapped, they were just frozen like solid.
That makes
But
sense.
even if it wasn't frozen, rigor mortis would have done that anyway.
True. I feel bad. I felt a little bit bad for the coyote because it's just standing there with its paw like in the trap, and who knows how many hours it's been there.
Well, bro, it's not feeling bad for you when it rips your face off.
I know, but I don't know.
Well, that's jaw. That's leg. What's it? Leg jaw trapping? Whatever it is. That's what it is.
That's
Like,
clever.
You got to catch them and then you dispatch them.
Dig a hole, put some like sheep's wool and something else that smelt, and then bury the trap right next to it. So the coyote goes along, sticks its nose down the hole, and stands on the trap.
Yeah, we used to have leg traps here in Australia, actually, but
We still have
yeah,
them.
well,
gotta be a
you're not
rubber-
allowed the jaw.
Rubber jaw.
Yeah, it's
They got to be a rubber jaw, not a tooth.
and
And they can't be exposed. Or depending on the state, they can't be exposed still. I think New South Wales has to be rubber layered. Queensland doesn't. But they can't have teeth. I'm
yeah,
not
but
sure of
they
other
don't
states.
work well because our animals just chew their legs off.
No, they work well because the rubber jaw, the metal probably would do, but it doesn't do as much as a tooth. But a fox will only chew its leg off when it's broken or badly injured. So
Yeah,
that's
those
why
things-
the rubber works because it doesn't actually break their leg, their leg's still fine. It's just caught. So therefore, they won't chew it off because their leg isn't fucked.
Okay.
If they're fucked, they'll just chew their leg off.
I didn't know that actually, because growing up, you used to see 3-legged foxes all the time.
That's why.
All the time, and I was just thought,
Well, they get in fights and
they
they
don't
just fuck
work.
each other's legs up.
Don't even bother trying it. But I didn't know
you
that.
get his fourth leg, but it's not there.
I'm now going to go buy some and try it.
And it's the same as foxes and dogs, as far as I know, are much. Like they'll just chew off any limb that's fucked if they're caught.
So,
it's just survival.
See, I figured the pressure that, especially on a fox, the pressure that clamp exerts would be enough to break its leg, even unteeth.
Well, I think that's what's so good about them. One is because they meet non-cruelty, so it doesn't break a leg because that's the whole reason behind no teeth. And two, it kind of works well because the dog won't chew its leg off, so it won't break it. It's not supposed to. I'm guessing there'll be definitely stories that break their leg.
It's got to hurt. Though.
Fucking earth it would hurt. But it'd be like a rolled ankle rather than a snapped one.
Rolled ankle. That sounds much nicer.
I'm just thinking pain-wise, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they certainly got some different stuff over there in the US anyway. The beavers were pretty weird looking, and we certainly don't get them here. But, yeah, the old USA. The first thing the girl said to me is, oh, Dad, you're not going to shoot a beaver. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, you are going to the USA. I'm not going hunting. I'm going on a holiday, girl. So it's all good. Should be an interesting time.
Should be like I shoot your stepmom's beaver all the time. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
It's all right. You've been saving that one. I don't know what to get. I was trying to segue nicely into what we want to talk about.
Yeah, it was working.
It was working until you just decided.
We just naturally, all three of us are thinking beavers. We ain't thinking the furry creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyway, where I was trying to segue there is into the weird and wonderful things that happen in the US, and what is pertinent at the moment is the US election. And
yes,
Trump, baby. Old Daddy Trump is in the chair.
Took it all.
Yeah, look, it was a landslide, man.
It took no survivors. Yeah.
Like, I think
It was funny. Go on.
8 hours in, man, it was like, yeah, he's got this.
Yeah.
He won all 5 of the swing states. So, I guess for people that don't know, out of the 51 states, there's obviously the red states, there's blue states, and then there's obviously the swing states where actually they care about. As in, they care about all states, but they're the ones that are going to win elections.
Yeah.
And for a president to win all 5 of the swing states, 5 or 7, one of the two, it's kind of hasn't really been done a whole heap. So it's interesting to see, the outcome compared to last election, and an election before that. And you see the vote tallies and all that. I don't know how Democrats lost 15 million votes, but they somehow went with the wind.
He's also got, I reckon, both houses. So, both.
Yeah, he's got upper and lower. He's got the House and the Senate. And the other one as well, which I forget.
That means drastic change.
It does. He's already talking about all sorts of things.
Yeah, it'll mean big changes for the first 2 years. And I think they're saying typically after 2 years, it'll even out just due to the public's opinion, because people get sick of who they vote for after 5 minutes, let alone 2 years.
Yeah, you never know if he actually delivers on some stuff. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says or his personality or whatever, but I think for the same reason that probably the American people voted for him, why I do like him is that you get what you see, you get what you see. Like a lot of politicians, you don't actually feel like you know them as a person or understand them. You just think, you're just towing the party line and it's all rhetoric and bullshit, basically. But as unpolished as he is at times, you feel like at least you're getting the genuine article.
100%. Well, as I said, he's not polished, but what you see is what you get.
You see,
And he's not going to lie to your face to line his pockets because his pockets are already lined.
you see,
So
I've heard differently. A couple of members of my family against Trump in some aspects. They're quite intelligent people. They're not for and against anyone, but majority they swing the other way, and they say he doesn't listen to people, advice, etc., etc. I will chuck out. Sean Ryan just did a podcast. I can't remember the fella's name, but he was in Trump's cabinet last term, and he actually writes a book. He wrote a book, about pretty much how Trump works inside of office, and he does listen to a lot of people. He will give a lot of people the time of day before he makes a decision, and he'll ask them, "Well, what do you think about this and that?" But yet the media seems to just harp on this one demographic. It's just this ruthless attitude of his way and nothing else. I think that's a very immature response.
yeah,
In a lot of ways, from media and from people that believe the media that says that. You're not going to be in that sort of position without having some sort of understanding.
Cliff Sims. Was it Cliff Sims?
Maybe.
I'm just
It was actually extremely good listen.
I listened to just a podcast video of Vance,
I just
and
finished that
he
today.
was
actually.
saying,
Yeah, it's good.
of Rogan's.
Yeah, Rogan with
Okay. This
JD
was
Vance.
he was on another one, and they talked about someone that was used to work in the team of Trump last term, and he was bad mouthing Trump, and then a lot of the stuff he was saying though. So I'm not sure if this is the same guy or not. I can't remember the guy's name, so I was trying to find it then what you're talking about. But he was bad mouthing Trump and saying that this is all said and da 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 da, and then in the room, the rest of the other people were like, what he's saying wasn't said at all. He's just sort of twisting like your Democrats do, twist your words to lead in their favor. So I think he was just a bit of a disgruntled politician that was kicked out and didn't like it.
And look, there'll be a lot of that, I think.
Yeah. So when you're in the
regardless of
limelight, I
who
guess
you
there's people going to be wanting to shoot you down.
are. Yeah,
True.
So
yeah. The real test will see what he does next year. I find it very ironic that like Russia and Ukraine and even Israel and Palestine, and they're sort of all flaming. Syria.
they're starting to back off what they're doing
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all starting to be like, okay,
I saw it.
maybe we should try this diplomatically.
I saw a meme actually. It was like when you and your brothers and that siblings don't listen to your mum.
Yeah.
And then as soon as your dad gets home, everyone's on their best behaviour.
Exactly. But he sort of went into that a bit on Rogan's podcast. And it was good to hear him in a long format because you only ever really hear sound bites of Trump and through the filter of whatever narrative the media wants to portray. So it was good to hear him in that long format for 3 hours. And I came away going, well, I like what he has to say, mostly. I don't like how he does what he calls the weave and just goes off topic and weaves all this other shit in there. Like, I'd rather just hear things straight out.
There's definitely times when you need to explain something else to get the question or the answer away, but he does it.
He does it too much. But then
But a lot of times you forget the overarching point because we do that on the podcast as well, man. All three of us.
We call it a digress, not a weave.
Yeah, but it's all the same sort of thing. You're trying to give context and then double back to the meaning.
To his credit, he does come
difficult.
back to it, but it can be frustrating at times to listen to him do it. But what I did really like mostly about his policies is it's about, one of the major ones he wants to do is reduce the income tax and increase tariffs. And then he uses tariffs as a bargaining chip if he wants to negotiate with other countries and say, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to do this. And they use import-export as leverage like you would in business. And it's, I don't know.
See, that right there, that's good for the US. Whether that's good for everyone else,
Well, already
maybe
they're
not.
talking about it's going to make things more expensive here, this, that, and the other. But then there's other sides of it to say, well, it actually is good for us because that means maybe China doesn't have all the same avenues that they normally would, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I think that's something to be just cautious about here is if that does happen, it will affect us, especially tariffs on China. I mean, we saw tariffs on China with the wine and lobster and a lot of our livestock as
on
well.
Us, they weren't on the China.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is it means it causes our farmers to look elsewhere to sell, okay? So there's a slump whilst they're redirecting where they're going to sell to.
Yeah. From what I understood, these tariffs were directed to encourage manufacturers to stay like in the US,
Stay in the US,
and not move to Mexico for a cheaper production rate.
Once again, that helps the US. Does it help everyone else? Now, I understand that, if you're the leader of the free world, you're going to help your own country.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we should be doing a little bit more of as well, is helping your own country.
It is. We've dug our own grave here, man. Getting out of what we've dug here, we ain't seen in our generation, man.
Yeah, there's always an out, but there's at the moment there's really not the need for it. So it'll be too expensive. Once the need becomes relevant, so we lose import, then it'll be viable.
It will be, but we have to upskill. We'll suffer
labour now
a lot in that process, and it's not a short-term fix. It's a intergenerational fix. So but kudos for him doing it to support his own country, and manufacturing in your own country is what we all should strive for.
Well, if you can make money off other countries rather than tax your own people, I think that's only a good thing. Like, I can't remember which Middle Eastern country it is that produces a shit ton of natural gas. And basically, I don't think they have actually that much income tax.
They have none.
I think it's Sweden. No. Sweden doesn't have actual income tax.
No. Like, no, those countries, Nordic countries, they're like 60% tax. They're insane.
There's one
schooling's free.
Yeah, okay.
So
there's one that all their revenue for their government is just purely because of royalties. Because they export.
I can't remember, but my example with the natural gas is whatever. Yeah. If it's Saudi, it's Saudi. Like, they tax the product to other countries rather than tax their own people.
There is no tax.
We should do that. Like, we've got a heap of natural resources.
Well, this is the worst part about Australia is they're cutting off all the gas here. So houses in Sydney that are built now fall under a new piece of legislation that no gas is going to them. Vic's trying to. It'll come to us eventually. So they're trying to cut that tap off to our own people. But yet we export, it was something ludicrous, man, of the world's natural gas, and we don't tax it. Did you know if we did tax it, even at a small percent, Medicare in Australia would be, there'd be longevity in it.
We're dumb.
The Medicare system's going to fail in Australia at some point, unless I'm sure there's brighter people that'll drag it out, but without an influx or a steady income of taxing big business overseas, it's not sustainable. If we did that with our natural gas, we'd have Medicare forever. Just on that alone, I read up about this probably about 8 months ago. It was something small. If we taxed them a minuscule amount, it would help us out. Something chronic.
And aren't we sitting on like 2/3 of the world's uranium or some shit as well?
And like 1/3 of the world's oil. Our raw minerals, like as in what's it called? Your iron, gold, all that stuff as well. It's a huge percentage.
See, I feel like oil would be a difficult one to navigate with the Indigenous because you'd have to do land-based oil.
No,
any of those.
Because they can drill down and then drill sideways now. So you can drill horizontally. And that's how they can drill in non-Aboriginal land and go down and across. The biggest thing about that is contamination.
So I think find a way to fuck that.
There's a massive oil reserve south of Cooperpedy, but directly below that is the water basin.
Ah,
So if they break that seal, it fucks everything.
okay.
So it's one of those things where it's not worth the risk.
Like exorbitantly more expensive than it needs to be, as opposed to just drilling at the source from the ground, like directly down. Oh God!
So,
I just want to
I think
be
that
like,
country was Qatar. Qatar?
Qatar, I think so.
Yeah, that was the country that had the gas.
Yeah, I reckon. I knew it was a Middle Eastern one.
And that if we fractionally gave a charge of like a percentage, then we'll be making millions.
I vaguely remember there's a politician, Malcolm Roberts. He posts a lot of stuff. I reckon it was him that posted something about that.
Yeah.
He's very, very pro-Trump.
Have you guys seen? So you would have seen the comments that Kevin Rudd made back when Trump was in last, and he was saying that it was a bunch of clowns or a bunch of something, talking about the Republicans and Trump.
He called Trump the village idiot.
Yeah.
And he is now the
ambassador,
ambassador in America. I think his job is untenable once Trump takes power.
Yeah. I think I saw a whisper somewhere where we're going to switch the New Zealand and American. So switch him over to New Zealand, get him out of US because it's inevitable. And then have our New Zealand, whoever that is, go to the US.
I wouldn't have a clue who half of our ambassadors are other than Kevin Rudd.
Nah.
He was a tool when he was Prime Minister as well.
But like supposedly those negative comments and stuff that he's made back in that time have been deleted since recently. Because
he went back and deleted off his Twitter, or his people did, whatever.
It's kind of funny to see, really.
Where's Julie Bishop at these days? I'm sure she was a foreign minister somewhere.
I was actually thinking about that when
she's a minister of foreign affairs.
Being a foreign minister would be a commitment, especially for your family, because you got to move to a different country.
Yeah, but you take your whole family with you, surely.
Oh yeah, I guess so. It wouldn't be just a 5 on, 2 on, 1 off.
See, I'm away for 4 years.
Just 5.
or would you?
Or are you looking for a quieter house, Josh?
I like my house.
Actually, is the button still working?
Look.
Probably isn't.
Hey, Daddy.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is still working.
I do have to ask, what do you think is going to happen out of all this? Do you get all these sort of lefties, the world's going to implode, our freedoms have been taken, this and that with Trump getting in. Do you think
they freak the fuck out?
They do. It is like
how many of them are like, I'm going to leave the country if Trump wins?
It's a tantrum, mate. It is a tantrum.
The mental health issue is ripe.
Actually, did you see, not that I follow Andrew Tate, but I did see his video the other day that he posted about all the celebrities who are like, if Trump wins, I'm leaving the country. And he went through them all. And he's like, Whoopi Goldberg, fuck off. He just went through all of them.
Well, there was someone else that said they're going to jump into a wood chipper. And they're like, I'll get the chipper.
P. Diddy and that screwed, mate.
I hope that list becomes public.
Yeah.
I cannot wait if that is a thing.
Yeah. Do you reckon Bieber's been touched?
I reckon so.
Bieber?
Yeah. I reckon, old J. Biebs.
You reckon?
I reckon something's gone down.
I don't know where that's come from. I missed the story then.
Oh, there's been all sorts of like...
We produce his records, mate.
YouTube clips like just come back again and like you're watching it through a different lens now, like where...
Yeah. No, it was still the same lens. Like, even looking back then, you're like,
like it's a bit weird at the time.
He feels like he is trapped and touched. And you look at it now and you're like, okay, this makes sense. That's all it is.
So he was like...
Stuff like he'd spend the weekend...
Britney Spears thing where it was controlled by a producer.
Yeah.
But
kind of.
He was obviously sexually...
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
He got diddled.
Yeah. 100%. It's like an Epstein Island, but for... I'm not going to say this because we've got to keep
so
it
is that
PG.
where the Diddy stuff comes from?
We're going to have to keep it PG.
We do.
There's a lot of baby oil involved.
Yeah. I believe one of his quotes was, it's ultimate power when you can get a dude to suck you off.
True.
Yeah, well, you'd hold that over him, wouldn't you? Because you're not gay for having him suck you off, but you're gay for sucking me off.
Yeah, that
I just love it. I love the Diddy memes. They're so good. There's one today, and it was like a Japanese game show where there's literally oil all over this like travelator thing, and all these people are trying to run up it. It's like the feds trying to get up the stairs at Diddy's.
I've got to keep my eye out for them because I've missed all of these.
Oh man, it's so good.
It's actually pretty dark, man. Like, imagine Epstein child trafficking, but the same sort of thing. The rumor is he's blackmailed a lot of high-profile Hollywood stars and politicians at these white parties that he held and brought in underage women and filmed it. It's the same. It's basically the same story about Epstein Island, but just on the mainland.
Yeah, so he didn't care. He just was out in the face of the public rather than Epstein had his own island.
Yeah, and it is quite funny because when you look back at some of the other artists that are in the same field, they rag on him and they make it known. And this is like a decade ago they're singing about it or longer. And then you're like, it all makes sense now. The dude's...
Like Kesha.
Yeah, the dude's perverted.
Wake up in the morning feeling like...
I have to do some more research on that. But it'd be nice to actually get some clarity on all these things, like for sure. And it's been definite without any sort of...
Yeah.
Especially the Epstein list. So,
the
you guys
implications
where Musk was saying, like, your Bill Gates and stuff are on that list. You reckon?
Yeah. Well, he is on that list. But and actually, with Bill Gates, the thing that I find ironic is when all this came out, suddenly his wife leaves him. I mean, you don't know what's going behind closed doors, but you can make a fair assumption just off of those two things happening.
You look guilty if your wife, as soon as something comes out and your wife leaves you immediately. Yeah. Like Isla Fisher left Sacha Baron Cohen immediately as soon as anything came out about him as well.
Because it wasn't a golf trip.
Like the Rebel, I think it was the Rebel Wilson stuff that came to light about how he just said a bunch of weird shit about or asked people to do things on movie sets. I did like...
I'm not sure if that was confirmed or not.
Oh, who knows? But either way, she left him straight away.
Yeah.
I did like what Donald Trump Jr. posts quite regularly, but he did post one thing which was like people that endorse Trump. It was like Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, all these other people, and then people that endorse Kamala. It was like the Diddy list.
Yeah,
which it kind of is.
You found out that Camilla raised during her campaign, was it $1 billion?
Wrong politics. It's not Camilla.
Left $20 billion in debt.
Yeah.
Camilla. But yeah, she spent $20 million to her one raised.
Yeah, 1.02 mil. Bill, how do you... Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And it's 108 days is the campaign. So she spent that money in 108 days, mate.
But yeah, she was paying everyone to support her. Like, I think...
How bad is it? Like, she didn't even... Like your concession speech when you've lost, you generally front the media. She didn't even turn up to that. She sent some other pleb.
Well, I see how they sent it out there. One person walked out, got in front of the mic, looked at the crowd, turned around, walked back. Second person walked out, did the same thing, all acting like they were about to speak. And then the third guy come out and actually said something.
I think we're missing the bigger story here is if I raised $1 billion, I'd be in the Shelley Islands living it up. I'd be like, see ya. I'm out.
I heard Epstein Island's going cheap.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory about the Nickelodeon logo?
Yeah. That Disney go into a whole heap of that, man. I have been belt feeding because it's interesting. Obviously, growing up, Lion King, Aladdin, and then you get into the Mermaid or whatever. I've got 3 older sisters as well, so I was playing all day long when I was a kid. Anyway, one of the actually, there's multiple symbols that Disney uses. That's all symbols for pedophilia.
Yeah.
And it's on like, what's that? It's that little Hawaiian chick and she's got like a monster.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it's on her shirts. And, oh, man, it's just so ironic. And you're like, sorry to butt in, but I only watched that today and I'm like, oh.
No, there's definitely heaps of weird stuff. But, yeah, look at the original Nickelodeon logo and then look at it now, like that splat of orange, and it actually is the same shape as Epstein Island. Pretty much.
I mean,
but then there's all these like young Nickelodeon people who have been abused. Same with Disney as well. It's a little like it's I don't know, it's tinfoil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, she's now off to the kitchen to grab some aluminum foil.
What?
I can't say I ever really watched much Nickelodeon growing up, but
your daughters have.
not really.
Yeah, they would have, man.
I like bits and pieces. Like everyone would have watched Rugrats.
Oh, yeah.
But the only Nickelodeon I would have watched is the stuff that made its way onto ABC Kids when I was little. Like Rugrats, for example.
Because you were too poor to buy pay TV. So was I. That's all right.
Early days, we only got ABC in the hills.
Yeah.
It's actually quite close, hey?
It's pretty bloody close.
It's like slightly off, but then again, you can't copy it exactly. It makes it too obvious.
Yeah.
But the little splash kind of like throws it in as,
I mean, that could be pure
like
coincidence because a splash does look like that. I mean,
but I think there's a lot more behind just the logo itself in Nickelodeon from what I just quickly read.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So I think each cartoon has some sort of origin vibe to it.
Same with Disney, man. And they put in things in the background that connect all Disney. To be honest, the way they've done it, and they've done it from the beginning, and they've kept it going, and they've kept it quite quiet throughout the years, and it's only coming to light now, but you sort of look at it and you're like, that is orchestrated. That is not coincidence. Like, the same dude that does this, like, or the breakdowns of these things, he's like, there might be a comic in the background, say in the smoke, and you can barely see it when it's going through the frames of like a different show. But then he pauses it and he zooms in and then he'll put it against another picture of that comic or whatever in a current related movie. And you're like, this is written and it was all interconnected. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I've been on a deep dive, haven't you?
I mean,
sometimes it might just be as simple as a disgruntled animator puts something in there as a hidden message.
like Mickey Mouse rooting the cheese.
What?
I mean, 100%. If I was the one drawing it, I'd be like, yeah, this is funny. No one's going to get this.
But I think it's maybe disgruntled or maybe just a bored. It is a kid's thing, so they're not going to understand the innuendo behind it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot
as
more.
As a parent, you would, and you'd be like, oh, that's kind of funny. And back in the day where you probably could get away with it.
And I'm sure animation.
Now you can't.
Animation was probably a lot more of a manual process back then too.
Yeah, true.
Oh, and that explains the use of or reusing like the same picture, or a background filler, something that you pre-drawn already, so you don't not coming up with something.
That was pretty common actually in the certainly the animations we had growing up. Like they just have this scene and then they just animate the necessary bits.
Yeah, it's the same as like but some movie sets are shared as well.
Now animation's pretty sick.
Yeah, but now there's no excuse for it. I mean, the computer's enhancing it all for you.
Enhance.
Anyway, back on Trump. The end of the world's coming. Go buy cans of Spam because we're all doomed.
What you're saying before was, were you saying what do we think that's going to come from it, from Trump having a second term in the office? Is that what you were going to ask before? And then kind of digressed.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think is going to happen?
He's going to piss another country off at some point. Hard enough. Like someone's going to push back, surely at some point. In 4 years, he's got 4 years at the helm again.
Yeah.
That's enough time to create some drama.
Like, I'm kind of hoping that, no one takes another crack at him because he's already had two two guys,
Three.
one have a crack and one's about three
Yeah,
to have
it
a shot at
attempts?
him. Three.
three
Yeah.
attempts. Yeah.
3 attempts.
When was the third?
Mate, the media has not covered the next two barely.
Yeah, you didn't hear much about the golf one. Was that
Well,
the second or third one? Was the golf one the second or third?
Golf was second, I reckon.
Yeah, it was not long after the first attempt.
Hmm.
So what happened to the third one? Fill me in.
I can't actually remember now.
Cover
There's been
it.
3. I'll Google.
I was actually talking to ChatGPT, right? Because it's got a voice function.
because I do
That's
that
who
in
your
my
friend is,
spare
yeah?
time as well. Yeah.
That's his.
No, it was,
yeah.
That's his best friend in
Yeah,
Queensland because
yeah.
we're down here. He just talks to ChatGPT
Yeah,
Does
now.
she give you hand
No,
shandies as well?
shut the
You've got a
fuck up.
virtual girlfriend too, don't you?
I was in the car and I was driving along, and I started asking about the Trump stuff, and it was like saying, "Oh, Trump? There's no record of having an attempt for Trump." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I'm like, initial thought was, "Oh, they're suppressing information through ChatGPT, and it's more a Democratic side rather than a Republican." And then after a little bit, I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute," because ChatGPT isn't released to full internet yet, or at least that model isn't. So its last training data that was released to it was up to June 2013. And once I found out that, I'm like, okay. But yeah, so if anyone else is
All right. The third one
cracking
was
shits about ChatGPT, that's why.
the third one was prevented. So they intercepted him. The cops. The guy went through a police checkpoint, and he tried to enter the rally with a phony press pass. Noticed his car was unregistered. They searched the vehicle, discovered a cache of fake passports, a driver's license, a shotgun, a loaded handgun, a high-capacity magazine, blah, blah. So they reckon they intercepted the third attempt, essentially.
He was going to get up and close then.
apparently.
Yeah, because the other guy couldn't do it from 140 meters away. So hey, this guy had to get it like at least 30.
Do you think there's any connection between that kid that was shot and the whole Black Rock thing? Because I did read on one thing, and I honestly don't know how true it is, but he was getting paid, and he was in a Black Rock commercial, and he was getting paid money by them, and I don't know if it was from the commercial or whatever. They made it sound like it, you know, obviously the conspiracy theorists made it sound like it was connected, and BlackRock paid for this kid to take a shot at Trump. But I mean, that's going to get squished pretty quick if it was true. But two, I don't know if it is. But that
What I find very weird is they couldn't open. He had 6 mobile phones, and they're all sort of security locked. And the FBI can't or won't open the phones, and Apple are not opening them either.
I only learned today.
Apple they're refusing it.
is that a privacy thing, or is that a
it's
dodgy
a privacy
thing?
thing. But no, privacy thing. Well, at least Apple, it's privacy, they say. But January 6th, back when those guys ransacked the White House, their phones got
Capitol
unlocked
Hill?
within like 2 hours. Yeah, the Capitol or whatever. Yeah, their phones got unlocked within 2 hours of that.
See, I find that very
By
strange.
iPhone.
There's a lot of lefties that attribute Trump causing that riots, and I'm like, he did not go on screen and go, all right, go storm the Capitol building. Like,
There was also a few people there that were heavily involved with some sort of democratic side of things as well in the previous few months prior to that.
They reckon there was agent provocateurs as well.
Yeah.
Or people to encourage the crap to
Inside.
go on. Back in old mate Shooter though, I only heard today. Again, this was the JD Vance on Rogan, but apparently the shooter's house was like clean. Like when they went actually into his house, it was like clean as a whistle.
yeah, so that's
Like
weird.
it's been-
That
so
is
that's
a bit
been-
That
weird.
is super weird.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not though when you think about it. Like,
There'll be a Joe Rogan podcast about it in 12 months.
why? I kind of wish that Camilla or whoever Camilla, can't do it right. However,
Kamala.
Trump.
Just
Call
say-
it Camel.
Just say
I'm
camel
trying
and put an A on the end.
camel toe. How because I wish she got on Rogan. I know why she didn't, but I kind of wish she did.
She took like 2 days off to get prepped for something she had to do.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where she was on the podcast?
Was it the
same
debate?
time the hurricane hit?
I don't know. Either way, she
And the debate she had to,
cleared her calendars. I don't think she has multiple
Alan.
calendar for 2 days just so they could prep her to do that. It's ridiculous.
That's
And she
doesn't know
still
what she's saying.
she still fucks up. There's one I watched. There's a video of I watched today actually, and the auto cue fucks. It fucks up, and then she
talks her in circles.
She has no idea what to do when there's no auto cue in front of her. So she just repeats the same thing, and then it just gets more and more awkward.
Do you?
You'd love to be.
Go on.
I was going to say you'd love to be like an insider, and you're the guy that actually writes cues, and see how to the point she follows it, and you just slowly venture that conversation into something inappropriate.
Yeah.
And see how far she gets.
Like, all right, I'm gonna say this. I'll break it once. And fuck you, San Diego. The Anchorman.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
dear.
cool if someone tried that to see how stupid she is.
Look, how do you think it would be drastically different? Actually, Dwayne White said this the other day. He's like, you know what? We're all going to wake up like the next day and everything's going to be exactly the same. Like, it doesn't matter who's in. You're going to wake up, you're going to go to work, you're going to come home, you're going to kiss the babies, you can go to sleep.
Your routine life might change.
Like, do you think, and this comes down to a personal thing, I think Camilla would have put us in another war or stepped into the two current conflicts a bit more. I do think that there's a little bit more puppeteering going on with her, and I do think Trump will actively avoid that. That's the only differences that I really see that
with Trump
will happen.
With Trump removing taxes for overtime is a pretty big change as well for your sort of blue collar workers. Even your white collar if you don't have a salary. But
I guess I'm meaning more worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of the world's media content probably is influenced by what goes on in the US. So personally, I'm pretty keen for the whole woke agenda to fuck right off.
Oh, yeah.
And to be less of that. And Trump seems, and certainly JD Vance as well, seems to want to destroy all that because it is, as Rogan puts it, a mind virus. And it's just, I think people have had enough genuinely. So it'll be nice to see us sort of go back towards some sense and reality.
Well, there was a press conference he pulled saying that they're turning it back to legally there's only two genders that are assigned by birth, at birth, and that, men cannot be competing against women anymore. So they've made it, reverted back to, 2015 where things are a little more black and white.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot worse over there than it is here.
Yeah, but we were heading that way.
Yeah, we're following quickly in those footsteps. So,
which I feel like that's where we're going to benefit from. If he straightens out just the general social things that we're sort of following suit with the US.
Just talking about the woke stuff. We were all in Melbourne not that long ago. And, man, you walk into a pub, or whatever here, you're like, blue collar, upstanding people. There might be a few idiots and a few Elizabethans kicking around, enjoying the good life or whatever. But, man, walking into some of those pubs, I'm like, I'm in a different planet.
That's Melbourne, man.
Like,
it's very
Melbourne is
right. There was but there was no ordinary people there, like none. I'm like,
Melbourne's been like that for years. Man.
Nah, when I've been to Melbourne, and granted we haven't been there for a while, but you could always find at least one or two people that look normal, some ochre dudes or whatever.
You're saying that you didn't?
Other than us, I couldn't find
plenty.
Find a thing, man. There was like the whole fluorescent hair and like people that just look like they let themselves go, but it was okay to be obese. What? You're getting my gist.
Yeah, look, there's still plenty of good people in like rural Victoria for sure, but
Not
Melbourne.
to say that if you want to express yourself, you're not good.
Like,
But if you're trying to force it on other people, that's when you become
Right.
like-minded individuals.
At our hotel, I got woken up at 12:30 to a knock on the door. I'm like,
don't
here we
call
go. Open
We're not
the
going to call it a
door.
hotel, man.
Bro, I mean, granted, we were in...
It's a motel.
Essentially, crack den. But this dude flaming opens the door, and one, he had hair that looked like it was down to his waist, and he's like, oh, good smoke, man. And I'm like, at what stage is this all right to knock on someone's door at past midnight asking for a durry? Like, no matter what crack den you're in.
What made you want to answer that?
I thought it was one of you two because you two was still out.
I mean, I feel like I would have sent you a message, not just knocked on your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually,
Couch
did send me a
and
message.
he didn't reply.
So you're still up, and it was not long before, actually.
You're still up. Sounds like a booty call.
We're staying next to each other.
Look, actually, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and
That was a good weekend.
I think next year would be cool to do that again.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting though, like you mentioned the wokeness in Melbourne. So an international colleague of ours was over here, and in Sydney, he was at a bar, and all he said was he got handed his drink and he said, "Thank you, ma'am." And he's from the rural area of America. So there's the "Thank you, ma'am," "Thank you, sir."
Mm-hmm.
Just being polite, "Thank you, ma'am." And she said to him, like a blue head, they, them, said, "You want to be careful talking like that around here." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you can't," they said, "you can't assume people's genders." And he was like, "Oh, man, what should I have said there?" And I said to him, "Mate, what you should have said is, all right, cunt." And then that's pretty gender neutral, isn't it?
See,
Yes.
that's a term of endearment in Australia.
I call everyone mate because I can't be bothered with this shit. So
Yeah, so
male, female, I'll just call you mate. And then like you want to come at me for misgendering you, good luck.
See, I haven't really changed the way I treat anyone, but I haven't come across any fallback either. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not something I feel like I've altered the way I do things.
yeah,
Fuck that.
You shouldn't have to though.
I just
No,
wonder.
that's what I don't.
It's about where you
You don't
sort
really
of-
have to.
where you're living as well. I mean, you're rural Queensland, so it's not like you're gonna come across that a lot. I mean, Tea Tree Gully at the gym, man. Like I walk in there and it's like puffs and pink-haired people. It's weird. I'm like,
I deal
mate,
a lot in the city as well.
where are the meatheads at? Or and then when they were there, I'm like, can we just have some normal people in here? So you can't win. You can't win
It's
at
just
all.
what it is, man. Hopefully it swings back, which it will. It always will, but
Look,
when?
without war, will it swing back? Hopefully, because I don't wish that upon anyone. But
But it kind of
will
does
it
take a
happen?
war to swing back.
yeah, that's the thing. Or some sort of harsh adversity, like mass famine to swing back.
The media,
I think we're gone.
the media is what has to change. Like, stop giving airtime to it. And unfortunately, that's why we're in the situation we're at, because there's an agenda and there's people that are
stop
backed
airing.
by whoever, and they get the airtime they don't deserve. They
but-
really are the minority, and
Let-
common sense does not prevail.
Lefties
Stop
are typically
airing.
more academic as well, man. So they're getting into these positions where they have a say as well. Whereas, righties, they're more hands-on.
The media used to be the fact that you report on facts, not opinions. So we need to come back to that point where everything's factual and you can actually believe most of it. And there's not going to be an opinion-based sort of remark.
Gift us Fairfax Media. We'll set Australia right.
I'm hoping that the post I've seen about Elon Musk wanting to buy CNN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's correct and not just some meme that.
Having said that, X is worth like 4.9 billion-ish, and where it was when it was Twitter was like worth 15. Like he's taking a hit there. He paid triple for that too.
It was overinflated, the price. Yeah, so they didn't want him to buy it, so that's why the price was so high. But he bought it. He wasn't there for buying Twitter. It was buying freedom.
Yeah, he just wanted to sort the shit out.
So they overinflated the price because they didn't want him to buy it. But he wasn't buying Twitter. He was buying a person.
Because we got a spare $45 billion in our back pocket.
I mean,
he's reached 200 billion as his value.
Yeah, that's because he landed a space rocket finally. So NASA's frothing. They're gushing right now. They're like, oh.
I actually don't like listening to Elon talk. He's really annoying to listen to.
He
stutters and stops and starts and.
But he's that sort of nerdy sort of type where it's not a fluent conversation.
Nah, it's terrible.
If you're the smartest man alive, you're not worried about small talk, are you?
Well, even when he's diving deep, he still like trips over his own words. It's just annoying. It's not pleasurable to listen to him talk.
What he says what it does show? You know what it does show? That he does try and think about what he's actually saying and be correct in what he says. And that's why he trips up on it, because he's like something maybe slightly off or misleading. So he changes his wording to make it correct.
Not that we're wordsmiths.
No, I definitely not.
Yeah, I'll get that. That is kind of refreshing when he does that. I think I've noticed it. Especially when he was talking about
exactly the
aerodynamics of a rocket. And he's like, oh, no, actually a pointy would be slightly worse than, having a rounded sort of nose. And
domed,
They are calling Trump winning, though, a win for the alternative media, because the traditional media is pretty much all in bed with the Democrats.
Rogan. I think they're firing Whoopi Goldberg and that other chick off The View.
Really?
Because they're too radical.
Huh. I used to like Whoopi in Sister Act, and then
when we were kids,
she just went down this ridiculous path, man. And listening to her, like you put like a 5-minute clip on of The View, and you're like, you just want to backhand her, actually.
And she used to like Trump before he ran for president.
Not that we condone violence to women, but back in the day, like 2016, when Trump was on The View, and he was just like the billionaire who is on whatever that show he was on, You're Fired one. What the fuck is that? The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Like, they loved him then. Absolutely loved him. But then, as soon as a political thing, whoop.
I thought you were going to say, like, back in the day, she would have been picking cotton.
I mean,
2015.
That came from Shannon's mouth, not mine. Thank you.
I was dubbed. Josh dubbed.
The views expressed in this podcast aren't necessarily the views of all three of us. But you're right. America was very different at one point in time, Shannon. Yes, that's a good observation.
We're in 1915.
No. I was talking Sister Act. I was talking, 90s. All that. She was pretty cool in the 90s.
I only know of her from Sister Act and is it The Colour Purple?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know anything else she's done.
Is that the one she was in was that The Colour Purple where she was the nun or whatever?
No, that's
Sister Act.
Yeah, Sister Act. Okay.
I feel like The Colour Purple was something to do with slavery or some bullshit. I'm going to Google again.
Google slavery.
Why do I want to Google slavery? The Colour Purple.
But it'd be interesting to see how many people trying to change their tune.
That's interesting, man. I didn't know she was getting fired. Can we bring some of that down to Oz and fire that dude from what's that guy from the Today Show or the Morning Show?
You're talking about A lead.
Yeah, Ali, whatever his name is, get rid of
Is the
him.
lead? Off,
He was on the chopping block a few years ago, and then suddenly just stuck around. I'm like, get rid of him.
Oh,
And then he went quiet. Actually,
who's that moron from one of the late night shows? He cried on air about Trump winning. Fuck, what's his name?
Really?
One of the late night guys.
Cried.
Australian?
He cried on air
American.
about it's a loss for freedom. It's a loss for women's rights. It's
Yeah, that's
somehow that's racist and
Jimmy Kimmel.
misogynist. Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel. What a twat.
yeah. Boycott him. Stop watching his crap.
I found it funny how quick they turned to racism and misogyny because Camilla was female. And that's
Yeah,
why Camilla's
Donald
female
Trump's
and every other nation.
Donald Trump's a fop, mate. Orange top.
What?
A fucking orange top. This is something we've covered on the
Okay,
podcast
yeah,
once,
yeah.
and I only literally know that because we've been here before and covered this ground on the podcast.
So,
And I still have
spent
never
4.5
heard anyone
years in
say
the army,
fought,
yeah.
except for you, Josh.
you're a fob because
It's a frot.
there's some.
There's a hint of ginger in the beard, mate. That's all
in
it
the
is.
beard.
It's
Not a
Scottish.
hint. It's prominent.
It's the Scottish
You
roots.
should
bro.
be able to
It's-
relate to that.
Yeah.
Your father's a fought, so settle down. Shout out, Porter.
You sure you're not his son? That's where you get the ginger from.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Actually, my old boy definitely
Actually, no,
had a
you got the
very,
same
very
calves.
gingery
You got
beard.
the same calves. No, the calves tell everything.
It's the cars, but it's also the complexion of the skin, mate. It's translucent. You got a bit of sun.
You're saying Peter's not
I
white
am proud of my
because
Scottish
Poiter is
heritage.
quite white.
I am proud of my Scottish and English heritage.
Oh, I'm proud.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I'm not apologising
I
for
was
any of
never
that.
in slavery.
I like my white skin.
So
And my privilege.
Sunday, went and checked out some. Speaking of Scottish, some Highlander cattle,
Scottish.
Highlander cows. So going to buy 2 calves
You checked him out for what reason?
to buy.
Okay.
Yes, I bought two Highlander cows.
Mm.
So Scottish Highlanders.
Heifers.
Yeah, heifers. 2 heifers.
Cow, not bulls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then a mate of ours has got
Calves.
a bull, a calf bull. Well, he's probably a year old now. So
How old's the heifers?
the heifers are only 5 months, so they got a year and a half to go before
Yeah.
they can breed. But yeah, that's cool news. So just to move away from the Trump stuff.
Yeah, just second member of this podcast to own cows.
Yeah. Oh.
Good luck.
You've had your run in with a few.
Hey, yeah.
I hesitated on that one. I'm like, oh, do I?
Oh, look, we've all there's
Yeah.
we've had a few cows in our lives.
It's only Josh that's had a few bulls, but
As long as you
a few
move them on,
steers.
as long as you move them on to another pasture, it's all good.
Good luck, man. There's
Great
a
power to
lot-
make a guy give you a blowjob.
lot of stuff you've got to buy to keep them up or upkeep them. Crush and all the rest of it.
No, it's already here. Oh, no.
Oh, you've got one.
You got a crush?
Yeah.
You do?
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all there.
So he's got
Even though
infrastructure.
Highlanders make it a little bit difficult to do that because they got to learn to turn their head. But yeah.
Yeah, you just
so-
chop them off, mate. Grind them
No,
off.
fuck no.
Yeah.
Nah. Not chopping them.
Grind that crap off.
Nah. Leave them. That's a Highlander, man.
They do look cool. Like they
Round it
they
off.
have become
What are
fashionable for the good-looking cows and bulls.
Yeah. Yeah. They're... Yeah, you know the Highlanders are actually the oldest registered breed in the world.
Interesting.
Yeah, by a long shot. Like
They're like the sausage
500
dogs of the
AD.
cow world.
500 AD was when they were registered as a breed.
That's a random, boring fact. Thank you. For
They're a
sharing
good
that.
looking kid.
They do look cool.
They are cool and cow. Yeah. So
They've become trendy with their fringes that hang over their eyes and their
You got a lot of work to
Because-
do with your ticks and drenching and all that, mate.
How many are you going for all up here?
I don't know. I was thinking about breeding them. So breeding up a stock of about 10 to 12. Because there's 12 cattle here on adjustment at the moment. And really, you could probably get a few more cattle. I reckon the math I did, you can hold 20. But it's really running it on the limit. So if you have a dry year, you have to feed them.
Gotcha.
Rather than just them feeding themselves. But yeah, so 12 maybe. And then maybe calving to sell. But I don't know. See what happens. It's going to take a while to get 12 out of the 2.
You're better off just putting your efforts in low numbers like that to stud, man. Breed balls.
Good.
More money.
So
More money for your efforts.
it's all early days yet, though. But I've got, almost 2 years to work out what we're going to do once breeding, because that's going to take that long.
Or just make sure you keep those ones alive in the meantime, mate.
Yeah, I'll try. They're not alpacas, so it'll be fine.
Dear.
so,
Very good. Good luck.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty much the news for me at the moment. Yeah.
Cool. I got nothing particular I want to relay.
I've got to piss.
I do too. This could be a good time to end this one.
I think it might be
Just a little cheeky one after a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
Are we coming back?
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, Josh.
A little teaser.
Yeah, are we coming back?
Don't tease them like that.
Don't.
A little bit of
Could go either
foreplay.
way.
Oh, Josh, don't do
Make them moist.
There's only 3 of us.
We might. We may not. Do you want us back? Let us know.
That's
Have you missed us?
Probably not after this episode.
No,
'cause
like-
they're talking politics, mate. Wow, that's as
It's
Mate, that talk.
arousing as
The-
your grandma.
The
because it's
talk.
been a while since we've thrown out an episode. So
Been a while.
yeah, have they forgotten about us? Will we get many?
We've been busy, boys.
We have been.
We've been bloody busier. We've been busier than a worming tablet and an Ethiopian.
We're flat out like a lizard drinking.
I kind of like that one. I'll use it.
I already learned that one this week, actually, or last week. Busier than a worming tablet and an Ethiopian. Oh, it's good.
She.
Anyway,
But yeah,
Look, I think
So-
what's first on the cards is a backpack hunt in Victoria,
or Queensland, or
not
South
in
Australia.
summer. That would be lovely.
We can go anywhere, man. We can go high country New South,
Mikathara.
either to someone that's listening now, or to public land.
what'd you say? Mykonos.
Mikathara. Oh, you never heard the song? I've been to Mikathara. Hospital jail.
Nope.
Nah, never.
No, sorry, you lost
I've
me.
been everywhere, man.
I know
Yeah,
that
that's
song.
everywhere.
Didn't know it started with
Nah, it's
Mykothara.
the parody. Indigenous parody.
Oh, well, then I definitely haven't heard that.
You're not Australian. Hang on. Was it Indigenous or was it Kevin Wilson? One of them.
I think it was Mary, man.
Either way, it's not the OG version, so don't know. Anyway, I reckon we should leave it there.
Oh, you're going to just leave everyone on a...
Well,
Oh, they're about to climax. They're moist. And
the vinegar stroke is
Yeah.
about to occur, but we are just going to leave people hanging. Do you want us back? Let us know. Do you want us to do another episode for the years out? Might not happen. We're pretty
Who-
I
busy.
reckon if we
who do you
were
want
to,
back?
it'd be like a more of a Christmas thing.
Christmas
Yeah.
thing.
Having said that, I'm not going
Christmas.
to be here, so good luck.
No, but we can do it on the road. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few
This-
weeks before I go away.
Internet where you're going, so
I'm not taking the recording gear overseas.
it's sort of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway, let's not end this like this.
just waffle.
I want to go hunt, man.
I want to go hunting. We're having
Yeah.
time to do hunting, let alone podcasts. So
We need to actually plan for hunting and not just go on a whim here, because things are a little more hectic now.
Thanks to you.
But-
yeah, mate.
Yeah.
No, well, not really.
Well, the week later.
Really.
Not really.
All right. Well, I'll move to Azerbaijan and we'll sort out a hunting trip and then say it's not my fault.
I'll move to New Zealand.
No. You
I
get
just moved, so
you get Turkmenistan.
Okay.
Actually, I think there's all that cheap in Turkmenistan. No, I'm going there. You can
Oh,
have
you go there.
Azerbaijan.
I
I think we're going
I go to
nowhere.
Greenland.
Greenland.
Actually, I'll go to Finland.
Finland. Finnish.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I don't know what they speak in Finland. Dutch.
Finnish. Anyway, all right, let's leave it there. Thanks for listening. Send us a message. Do what you want to do? Abuse us. Whatever.
I want to
We've missed you
hunt.
guys.
Stuff is
We've missed the community of people that we normally talk to whilst we've
We have.
been doing
The-
fuck all in
the other
podcasting
two
space.
that are in this.
We miss you guys. We miss you.
I don't miss you.
All right, apparently we've forgotten how to end a podcast now, so let's just do it.
Yeah, I don't know how that ends.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks,
We'll,
guys.
All right, you chicken heads.
We'll talk
Tune
to-
in for a possible podcast next year.
there'll definitely be one next year, at least one.
There will be. Definitely next year, maybe one this year.
See you again after an undefined period of time. Goodbye.
Gotcha.
He's a guy.
Only for you, Josh.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.